Why is it that guys who duck subpoenas always live on the other side of town?
What was that street again?
Walton Street. His name is Steve Garry.
He's either out or he's asleep.
Bachelors never sleep. I'll get the pass key from the superintendent.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, Garry, open up. Sheriff's office.
Yeah, we'll have to use the key. Hey, Jack.
Where's that door lead to?
Or the back hall.
Come on.
But he wouldn't go out that way.
There he goes. Then we tried to seal every escape from the alley, but he slipped through.
Get on the teletype. Police in all western cities. Photos, descriptions. Give them everything you got and make it strong. Steve Garry has got to be found.
Yes, sir.
Eyes brown, hair dark brown. Wanted here as important missing witness in Gould murder trial. Now, Donovan, that's the photo they sent down.
Well, what's the inside on this, Captain?
Well, you can find out, Lou, if you'll read a little further than the comic strips.
I've got enough reading with our own murders. Now we've got to be a missing persons bureau for San Francisco.
They've done us a lot of favors, Lou.
Well, it's in your lap, boys.
Just one face. One face in 1,954,000.
Hello, Fred.
I was my favorite school teacher.
Hello, Virginia.
Steve.
Close the door, will you?
Have you added housebreaking to your other talents?
I came here because I had to.
I know. I read all about you in the papers.
Papers told you why I left, but not why I came here.
Whatever it is, I don't want to hear about it. It's over for us.
I'm not exactly on friendly terms with the police. I'm in Los Angeles to hide out.
And find some other place.
I'm going to. But I need a few hours. I thought I could count on you to give me a break.
A break? That's fine coming from you. What kind of a break did you give our marriage?
That was another guy, Virginia. I've changed now.
What you've done and what you do is not my business anymore, Steve.
I'm not gambling.
It wasn't just my money you gambled away. It was our future. Every chance of having a home and a secure marriage. But those things are gone now. Words won't bring them back.
Virginia, I don't blame you. I can't blame you for not believing me, but here is something you can believe. Hey, you see? $600 deposited in the bank every month. I couldn't do that if I was still gambling.
Our divorce wasn't because of an empty bank book. It's because of a man I couldn't trust.
I wish I could explain without the police breathing down my neck. I'd hope to, but I'm trying to prove I'm not the same man anymore. I've straightened myself out, Virginia. I got a good, solid job in San Francisco with Phil Gould in the charter boat business. You have to believe me. The life of my friend depends on this. That's the reason why I had to come here.
If you're doing something to help somebody else, you certainly have changed.
Phil Gould is my best friend.
Then how can you help him by hiding in Los Angeles? Why aren't you with him when he needs you?
If I were, he wouldn't have a chance. You see, Phil and his wife used to fight like wildcats. I was out with them the night before she was found dead. That was the night they had their big blow-up. The DA knows all this. If he got me on the stand and dragged any part of that story out of me, Phil would go to the gas chamber.
I see.
No, you don't see. The way you say it, you think Phil's guilty just as they all do. But he's not. If you never believed anything I ever told you before, you've got to believe that.
It doesn't make any difference what I believe. You'll have to go.
You've got room here. If I could just stay here tonight, I'll find some place to go tomorrow.
You'll have to find it now.
Can't you remember anything except the old mistakes? There were good things too, Virginia.
You turned them into lies.
Not all of them. Not the way I felt about you. That hasn't changed.
I don't know, Steve, because I don't know you anymore.
Then try to know me. Try to find out.
Go in the kitchen. I'll see who it is.
Oh, Virginia, could you lend me a couple of dollars till tomorrow?
Why, certainly, Phoebe.
Thank you so much. Oh, if you're going out, I'll walk you to the corner.
All right, Phoebe. I'll meet you outside in a minute.
Oh, all right.
It's Phoebe, my neighbor from across the court. You can stay here tonight, but that's all.
Thanks.
Now I have to get some food. There's nothing in the house.
Is there anything to drink? It's been a rough night.
I'll see. I'd like a small bottle of whiskey, please. That'll be fine. How much is it?
$2, just for today.
Take it out of this. Sergeant McCloy. Remember me? Used to date your roommate, Dolores.
Oh, yes, Mr. McCloy. Thank you. I'll pay myself.
No, you wouldn't argue against a fella buying a lady a drink, would you?
The bottle's not for me.
No? A new roommate, maybe?
No, Mr. McCloy. I'm living all alone now.
Alone? A pretty school teacher alone and unprotected? Looks like I better see you home.
No, thanks. I'm quite all right.
Oh, you can say that again. But I'm not the man to let a nice girl go wandering around the streets by herself.
I'm sorry, but I have to go right away.
Well, that's fine. I'm off duty and my car's parked right outside. Now, wait a minute, baby. I bought you that bottle, didn't I?
And you're welcome to keep it. Now, will you please let me get into my car?
Okay. No hard feelings. I'll take a rain check on that drink together. What do you say?
Here it is, Steve.
I'll take it.
Nothing fancy, but it'll be quick to prepare.
You're wonderful.
It's starting to rain. Sorry, there isn't any bottle. I'd have had one for you, but I ran into a detective who used to date Dolores, my ex-roommate. He was pretty high and hard to get rid of.
Detective, that's all I'd need.
There's nothing to worry about now.
There's plenty to worry about. My photograph made the evening paper.
Put the food in the kitchen while I get rid of my coat. Oh, it's probably Phoebe again. Stay in here while I get rid of her. McCloy.
Oh, honey. You know, I kind of had you on my conscience.
Please stop annoying me. You can't come in.
I'm already in, honey. You wouldn't turn me out in the rain now, would you? I came back on account of that bottle. Felt kind of bad taking it away like that. Figured you might need it in case you were entertaining. Say, you fixed the place up since Dolores left.
You'll have to go now, Mr. McCloy. I'm going out and have to change right away.
That's fine. I'll just sit down right here and have a nice, quiet one for the road.
There's a glass and ice in the kitchen.
Oh, you don't have to tell me where the kitchen is. I know my way around here.
Have your drink, and then you'll have to go. Maybe that'll be the last of him.
That's not the idea in the sound of his voice.
Go in there quick.
Brought you a shorty, Virginia.
Now, you've had enough.
Oh.
And so have I. If you don't get out of here, I'll...
What do you do, baby? Yell? Call the cops?
Don't try that innocent stuff with me. You want to play rough.
Steve! Steve!
So you had to go out tonight, huh? Innocent little school teacher. Come on, you. I want to take a look at you.
Steve! Steve, watch out! He's all right, isn't he?
No, he isn't, Virginia.
But you couldn't help it. He would have killed you. We'll have to phone the police. There's nothing else we can do, is there?
I don't know.
We can only tell them what happened. It was an accident.
Accident? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I hope nobody heard the shot. It's all clear out here. Sound could have come from the radio, couldn't it? We could plug the bullet hole.
Aren't we going to phone the police?
Not yet, Virginia.
We can't hide a killing.
I brought this trouble on you. I'll take care of it. First thing to do is to get him out of here. I'll use his car. McCloy's full of liquor. The police will think it's a drunk driving accident. Then I'll be able to keep you out of this mess.
But I'm part of it. It was because of me that you got into the fight with McCloy. We're in this together.
I won't have you mixed up in it. If necessary, I'll go to the police myself. Even if it means giving up trying to protect Phil.
Then you really wanted to help him. I think you have changed, Steve.
I'll get him out of here. Will you bring his car around to the back door? And I'll come back here, if it's all right with you.
Steve, they'll see us from the front.
Open the car door. Quick, open the car door. Get his hat and coat, quick.
fellows sure are in a hurry. What do you think it is? Smash-up fight or a fire?
There's not much left here.
Where've they got the body?
It fell out further up the hill.
Come on, Lou.
No pictures now, Bud. We'll give you a break later. Well, get out of here. Hiya, Sergeant.
Hiya, Frank.
must have pitched out when the car rolled over. We found him wedged against that tree.
It's McCloy, all right. I never would have tagged him to get it in an automobile accident. How well do you know him, Lou?
Too well. He was my partner for 3 years.
This is all his stuff.
Have a look at his gun. Who found him?
I did. We followed the tracks of his car up the hill and found him there.
Hey, Ed, one shot's been fired.
I want a paraffin test right away. Did you come up with anything, Doc?
Plenty. Death caused by skull fracture. I'd say he's been dead for about 4 or 5 hours.
Well, if your timing's right, he was dead long before his car hit the bottom.
I never figured McCloy as a man to drive up lonely hilltops without company.
He couldn't have driven at all. Do you have any theories, Doc, as to the cause of the fracture?
Well, we'll know better after the coroner's checkup.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
Those footprints we found on top of the hill were headed someplace in a hurry.
Were you able to make any casts?
Just about. I'd say the man weighed about 170 pounds.
It's a cinch they weren't McCloy's.
Either this guy knew that McCloy was up here and came up after him.
Or he killed McCloy first and drove him up in his car. Last night was his night off, wasn't it?
Off or on, he only had one thing in his mind, a skirt.
Well, he's all yours, boys.
Was it Steve?
I don't know. It's something outside the door.
It's just a newspaper. Maybe there's something in it about...
Searched the whole place looking for something to plug that hole that would match his stealing. And the best thing I could find was his kitchen soap. How does it look?
I'd never know there was anything there.
Another thing's been bothering me. If McCloy's body got burnt in a fire, how will we be able to prove that he was full of liquor?
It's like waking up with a bad dream.
Yeah, I know.
I'll put some coffee on.
Nothing on the front page.
Steve!
What is it? It's all right, Virginia. I know how you feel. We won't have to go through this much longer. The trial's almost over.
And then we can go to the police and tell them everything.
Don't you think it's about time you left for work?
I guess I'd better call them and tell them I'm not well.
No, Virginia. It's got to be the same as any day and any week. Nothing different, nothing changed. You see that, don't you?
Yes.
Come on, you better get your clothes changed. I'll fix the coffee. You still take 3 sugars, don't you?
Yes. You're going to be a nice little boy, aren't you? Because you know we're going visiting. There.
Oh, good morning, Virginia. I was just thinking of paying you a visit.
How are you, Phoebe?
Oh, all right. Oh, you're looking a little tired. Aren't you well?
I had trouble getting to sleep.
Oh, I got to sleep all right, but something woke me. A shot. Didn't you hear it?
Shot? Why, no, I don't think so.
Oh, well, of course, I couldn't swear to it, but I did hear something about 10 o'clock last night. I asked Tom and Mrs. Hanson. They didn't hear it either.
Come to think of it, I think I did hear that shot. It was on a mystery program on the radio.
Oh, so that's what it was. Well, for goodness sake. Come back here, Pancho. There's nobody in there, you silly fool. Now, you know...
Goodbye, Phoebe. I'm late.
What's the matter? What happened? Who?
You've been caught stealing again, Emma Gillis. Don't pretend to me you're asleep. Get up out of there. There's 2 detectives out there looking for you.
But, Ginger, I haven't been stealing. Not since that one time.
You tell that to the police. Get in there and hurry up. Come on.
Mr. Gillis, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
Please, have a chair, Mr. Gillis.
There must be some mistake. I haven't done anything.
Liar.
Mrs. Gillis, nobody's accusing your husband of anything.
Once 2 years ago, the company investigated me, but I was cleared.
Wouldn't you think that'd teach him a lesson?
It didn't happen again.
We believe you, Mr. Gillis.
You don't know him.
Please, Ginger.
Mr. Gillis, around midnight, most of your regular passengers are workers on the late shift, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
They use monthly ticket books, don't they?
That's right.
How many of them didn't?
Well, let's see. About 3. There were 2 at the Woodside station and 1 at the Lansing station. And that's absolutely all the dimes I collected in the hills.
All men?
2 of them. 1 old guy, short and fat. I've seen him before.
And the other?
Well, he was about average height. Good looking. Didn't want to talk much.
Can you guess his age and his weight?
He can't even guess his own.
Oh, I'd say about 30 odd. And maybe 170.
Good. How was he dressed?
Well, let's see. He was wearing a trench coat. Yes, sir, I remember him perfectly. He got my bus full of mud. He acted real nervous, too. Like he was trying to cover up something.
That you would know from experience.
Where did he get off the bus?
Hollywood and Highland. I don't know where he went from there.
Well, that's very good, Mr. Gillis. What time was that?
Oh, 12:27. Right on schedule.
Do you think you could recognize him if you saw him again?
Yes, sir. As plain as the Liberty head on a dime.
He'd recognize that, all right.
Well, thanks very much, Mr. Gillis. You've been very helpful to us. We may call on you again.
Oh, anytime I can help the police department. Yes, sir.
Oh, pardon me, man. Police officers. We're looking for a young lady by the name of Dolores Alden.
She moved away 2 months ago. But there's the girl Dolores roomed with. She might be able to help you. Virginia! These gentlemen are from the police.
Yes?
They're looking for Dolores.
We're sorry to disturb you, but we're anxious to find Miss Alden. Did she leave a forwarding address?
Yes, she did. I'll get it for you.
Here, you better let me help you with her.
I'm always so silly about misplacing my keys. Here they are. Thank you. I'll take the packages now.
I'll help you inside with them.
Just put the packages down anywhere, please.
Hey, what's this? That's a good-looking boat.
It's a model of the one my father owned. Here's that new address.
Oh, thanks very much. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about her? Just routine.
No,
Did she live here long?
only 2 weeks. I hope she's not in any trouble.
So do I. Her name and this address were in this book. It was in the pocket of a detective by the name of McCloy. He was murdered early this morning. We found his body on a hillside. So we thought Dolores might be able to tell us something about him. Did he come here often?
Only once.
Then you did meet him.
Yes, but only very briefly. Dolores had quite a few men friends.
Was one of them dark, rather good-looking, about medium height?
I don't remember anyone like that.
Well, perhaps Miss Alden will.
Oh, Ed, the woman across the way thought she heard a shot about 10 last night. She said you told her you heard it on the radio. Is that right, miss?
Yes.
Well, that's very possible. I'm sorry we had to disturb you, Miss,
Merrill. Virginia Merrill.
Miss Merrill. Thanks for being so nice.
They're gone, Steve.
I heard him. Did you remember to bring me some cigarettes?
There's some in one of the packages over there.
Well, that was a little close for comfort.
I just couldn't keep them out.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Steve, I'm not very good at covering up and hiding things.
I know it's been a little tough, Virginia. But we have to hold out a little longer.
I wonder if we should.
There isn't any other way.
But McCloy's death wasn't an accident to the police.
But we know it was an accident. We do know it was an accident, don't we, Virginia?
I'm sorry. I guess I just couldn't help it.
Atta girl. Well, I hope McCloy had a lot of numbers in that little black book of his.
They're taking plenty of time with that little blonde. I wonder if they're giving her the 3rd degree.
I don't know. I didn't get my degree at this college.
Yeah, thanks, John. And you never saw McCloy after that one night?
Not me. I'd rather go out with an octopus. And if you find the guy that killed him, I'd like to give him a $10 reward and shake his hand.
Well, I guess that's so. Oh, thanks for coming in. Did the Alden girl get here yet?
Yes, sir.
We'll send her in. The rest can go.
You may go in now, Miss Alden. The sergeant will see you. You two can leave.
Tough luck, kids. I guess I made the team.
Have a chair, Miss Alden. You shared an apartment with a Virginia Merrill.
Not for long, Sergeant. You see, she's the intellectual type, and I'm what you'd call the emotional type. But she's a good Joe.
How did you happen to know her?
We were in high school together back home. I was between jobs and rent, so I asked her to help me out.
While you were staying there, you had a friend named McCloy, that right?
That depends on what you mean by the word friend.
I'm afraid this is more serious than you realize, Miss Alden. In case you don't know it, he was murdered.
So I read in the paper.
How well did you know him?
Not as well as he'd have liked. I hate affectionate drunks.
Did he ever introduce you to any of his men friends?
No, Sergeant. He was a lone wolf.
Did he ever mention anything about someone having a grudge against him?
Look, Sergeant, on a date with a guy like that, the conversation is never complicated. They start out by telling you what they're going to do for you. Then they scream if you want a hamburger. But they'd gladly buy you a liquor store.
The autopsy showed he had enough in him to float a carrier.
Knowing what a nature lover he was probably showing some woman his favorite view. Her husband neglected to stay out of town. So McCloy got caught on the wrong hilltop.
Thank you, Miss Alden. Your theory's about as good as any we've had. Oh, if there are any more questions, we'll get in touch with you.
I hope I won't be seeing you. On business, that is.
How did McCloy ever have the time to squeeze in his police work? No wonder he was up on conduct charges.
Probably pulled his pistol in a drunken brawl over a woman. Mr. X caved in his skull, so he tried to cover up by faking the accident.
You know, I have a hunch we're going to uncover something pretty rotten. Maybe the department would be better off if this case went unsolved. But he was a policeman, and someone did kill him. Sergeant Donovan, homicide. What? You're sure? Okay, thanks. I checked all radio and television stations, and there was no shot fired on any program around 10 o'clock the night before last.
Maybe we better question the people who thought they heard it.
There's a bottle from McCloy's pocket. Better check the Sunbeam liquor store.
While you question the pretty school teacher.
You ought to be a detective, Lou.
Hello.
Hi.
Did you ever see that before?
No refunds, mister.
Would you check your sales records for the day before yesterday?
Oh, yeah. I recollect selling that bottle. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. I remember. It was purchased by a good-looking girl.
You know her name?
No, I figure she lives in the neighborhood, though. I've seen her in the market section before.
Was she alone when she bought this bottle?
She was at first, and then some fresh guy came up and paid for it. Said something about knowing her roommate.
Kind of in his late 40s, wearing a hand-painted necktie.
Yeah, that was him. I figured what he said about the roommate was sort of a get-acquainted line.
Yeah, well, you figured wrong. Do you have a payphone around here?
Oh, yeah. Here, you can use mine.
Thanks.
Boy, this bottle sure looks like it went through a rough time.
Yeah, it went through a murder. Homicide. Grant, Brecker. I want a checkup on a Virginia Merrill, 354 Benton. Yeah, right.
Murder? Boy, you sure can't trust those innocent-looking ones, can you?
Well, I don't know. That's not my job. That's for the phone.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, how do you like it here?
Very much. But I still can't understand why you asked me.
Well, it seemed the best way of finding out if you'd come.
Why shouldn't I?
Well, lots of reasons. You might not like having lunch with a detective.
And the others?
Well, you might have thought the invitation was purely police business.
Isn't it?
Maybe we better postpone the business until at least after we've had lunch.
I didn't know detectives ever postpone business.
You know, you have a lot to learn. And maybe your education should start right now.
I'll concentrate very hard.
Good. First of all, the popular conception is that detectives are hard-bitten, flip guys. Fast with their fists and fast with their women.
Aren't they?
No. No, they're not. Most of them are actually human beings. Of course, their working hours are a little irregular, and they have to associate with all kinds of people. But somehow they even worry about some of the people who get into trouble. You know, I've even heard of detectives who got married and became pretty good at doing dishes.
Well, they say school teachers can be very human, too.
Exactly. Even I had school teachers all wrong. Why, the first one I met, I thought she was made of chalk and spent all her time off practicing how to beat her pupils over the knuckles with a ruler. Of course, I was a little younger then and had strong knuckles.
Now you've changed your opinion?
Completely.
Then would you do me a favor?
Sure.
You brought me here to ask me a lot of questions. I'd like to get it over with before lunch arrives.
Okay. You win. Wait until I slip on my badge. Now, you said you heard a shot on a mystery program. Do you happen to remember what program that was?
No.
But are you sure you heard one at all?
Well, there was some sound. I suppose it could have been a truck backfiring in the street.
But didn't you tell your neighbor you heard one on a mystery program?
Why, yes, I guess I did. Phoebe thought she heard a shot, and I thought it might put her mind at rest, in case there had been a shot. But, of course, I really didn't think there was any.
You're right. For your information, we checked, and there was no shot fired on any program around 10 o'clock the night before last. Now, that wasn't so bad, was it? Maybe we should do some investigating on these dishes.
Oh, yes, let's. It looks wonderful.
Ah, but first we should read our fortunes. A long nose smells only trouble.
A tall, handsome stranger will enter your life.
Oh, boy, it's good.
I heard the car. Why'd you use the back door?
I don't think I could have stood another of Phoebe's quiz programs.
Phoebe's already been on one this afternoon.
Who was it, Steve?
Oh, one of those detectives who was here yesterday. He was nosing around, talking to a lot of people. Looks like the bloodhounds have dug up a bone.
I know.
What do you know?
Nothing to worry you, only...
Only what?
Steve, you're hurting me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting kind of jumpy. You're not very good at hiding things, Virginia.
I wasn't going to hide anything. Sergeant Donovan came to the school. He asked me out to lunch.
And you went?
How could I help it?
You didn't have to fall for the bait. Can't you see he was trying to mix you up in a lot of questions? Or did you think maybe he was interested in the color of your eyes?
I don't know. He asked me about the shot, and I answered him. Do you think I wanted to go? To sit there knowing he was examining every word and glance?
Well, you could have been smart enough not to give him a chance to.
Steve, what are you going to do?
I don't know. One of those detectives may be coming back here, and I'm not going to be waiting here to find out.
But you forget I'll still be here.
Listen, honey. They can't tie you up with McCloy's killing if I'm out of here. So don't talk to anyone. Don't worry about anything, and don't let them frighten you.
Try.
I'll find a place to stay, and I'll phone you and let you know where I am.
We can't keep on hiding the truth much longer. The detectives are sure to find out something, and then...
Nobody's going to find out anything until we tell them. And we can't tell them anything until the trial is over in San Francisco and Phil is safe.
I guess you're right.
It'll be all right, Virginia. You wait and see. And you wait here, and we'll go to the police together.
I'll wait.
If I only had a car, it'd be easier.
Here, take mine. Here are the keys.
You never let me down, do you, Virginia?
Hello? Who, Dolores? I didn't recognize your voice.
Virginia, I have something important to tell you. Can you meet me at the Club Pierre on La Brea in half an hour? Look, doll, I said it's important to you, so you'd better be there. Just ask for me.
All right, Dolores. At the Club Pierre in half an hour.
Sorry I had to drag you over here, honey. I couldn't get away to meet you anyplace else.
That's all right, Dolores. Do you work in the show?
Not this season. I have the photographic concession of the Club Pierre. Groups and individuals, $2 a shot, and we do take tips. Kind of a long way from our Youngstown High School, isn't it? Cigarette?
No, thanks.
That's right, you don't smoke.
How have you been, Dolores?
Keeping body and soul together. But I didn't bring you over here to talk about myself. Sit down, honey. You've got yourself in some kind of trouble, haven't you?
I know, Dolores.
Look, you don't have to do a fan dance with me. I've been entertaining a few friends of yours.
Friends?
A couple of seeing-eye dogs. The cute one is called Donovan. Anyway, they knew we came from the same town, so they asked me a few questions about you.
What could they want to know?
Oh, just names, places, your family, your former husband, hobbies.
My husband?
Well, sorry, hon. I didn't know you wanted it kept secret. Yes, I said you were once married to Stephen Garry. But you haven't seen him since he got in that jam in San Francisco. Have you, Virginia?
No, of course not.
Look, honey, you once did me a favor when I needed a roof over my head. If there's anything I can do to help you now, I might be just the kid who could do it.
Thanks, Dolores, but I think it's just a routine investigation.
Yeah, I got the routine investigation, too. About that McCloy character.
I know.
Well, I thought you could use the information.
I'm very grateful.
Remember, honey, I know a lot more about what happens outside of books than you do. So if you need me, just give a yell.
Thanks.
Hi, Carol.
So long.
Mind if I come in, too?
Why, no. You startled me. I wasn't expecting to see you.
I'm sorry this isn't the kind of a visit I'd like. Wish this were a box of candy or some flowers.
What is it?
Open it up. Ever see it before?
I don't know.
You should. It's a bottle you bought at the Sunbeam liquor store the night before last. Isn't it? Who paid for that bottle?
McCloy.
Why did McCloy want to pay for it?
I don't know. He wasn't a friend of mine. He knew Dolores and...
Yes, I know all about that. What I want to know is where you and McCloy went after you left the liquor store together.
I didn't go anywhere. He wanted me to go out with him, but I refused. I left him in the parking lot and came home alone.
You're sure of that?
Of course I'm sure. Now you don't believe anything I say, do you?
I think you're covering for someone. Him. Your ex-husband, Steve Garry, was identified by a bus driver the night before last in the vicinity where McCloy's body was found.
Why are you telling me all this?
Because I think Steve Garry came here to this apartment. He was here, wasn't he?
Yes. He was here.
Why did you let him stay here? You knew he was wanted.
Yes, I know. He told me why.
And you were willing to jeopardize yourself for a cheap gambler?
He's not that.
Dolores told me all about him.
He's a different man now, I know. I'm sure of it.
How?
Because for the first time in his life, he stuck to a decent business.
What was it? Marking cards or loading dice?
You're all wrong. He's given up gambling. He and a man named Phil Gould were in the boat business together in San Francisco. And he saved his money. He showed me his bank book. $600 deposited every month.
And you believe that?
Yes, I do.
So you let him stay here?
No, he's gone now.
And I suppose you don't know where?
No, I don't. And if you think he's hiding here, you're welcome to search.
I already did while I was waiting for you to come back. Chain smoker, isn't he?
I don't suppose you can arrest him for that.
No. No, not for that.
Hello? I'm sorry, you have the wrong number.
Perhaps it wouldn't have been the wrong number if I'd left a little sooner.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're a mighty fine girl, Virginia. The kind of a girl most men wait a long time for. I'm as sure of that as I'm sure you're mixed up with the wrong guy. Because of him, you probably have some sense of false loyalty. And that's the reason you're telling me only half the truth. I have enough on you to take you in right now. I could hold you as an accessory or a material witness. Or for harboring a suspected killer. But I know you're not a criminal. You're just a decent girl who's gotten mixed up. I'll be back tomorrow to hear the other half of the truth. You better sleep on that.
Yeah, they got an old picture of me in here, back on the Barnes case. Yeah, it's a pretty nice looking picture. I better get you some blocks for Christmas. What's that supposed to be anyway?
A high pedestal.
Oh, yeah. Only, who's it supposed to be for, me?
No. A fellow I've never met. But I figure anybody that noble should be up on one.
Steve Garry, huh?
Yes, Uncle Lou, Steve Garry.
All right, there are two kinds of men I don't trust. One, habitual drunks. Two, habitual gamblers. Like our friend Steve Garry.
Virginia trusts him. I put the heat on her, but it didn't do any good. I have a hunch she's protecting a full-grown rat, but I couldn't prove it.
How much heat did you put on her?
All there was. The bottle, the bus driver, and Dolores. She thinks he's reformed himself into the all-American boy, putting his salary in the bank every month and hiding out to help his friend.
Too bad. But she's a swell-looking girl.
What brought that up?
Nothing. Only from where I sit, you seem more worried about her than Garry.
You're off the beam, Lou, and you know it.
Ed, I had an uncle who reminds me of you. He was a doctor, pretty good doctor. His only trouble was he once fell for one of his patients. He spent so much time curing her, it nearly lost him his practice.
You better go home and get some rest, Lou. You're talking in your sleep.
No, the story had a happy ending. My uncle recovered.
You married her?
No, she ran off with another guy.
Let's get back to Steve Garry.
All right, I'm back.
There may be a way of knocking this guy off his pedestal. I want to find out if he won his bank account or earned it.
Okay. Let's send a teletype to San Francisco. Find out what they've got in the Gould file.
I want to send a teletype to the chief of police, San Francisco.
Yeah?
Virginia.
I wasn't expecting you tonight. Who was with you when I phoned?
Donovan.
I thought it might be. Were you followed?
I don't think so. Steve, they know who you are.
Who told them? You?
Would I have come here if I did?
I'm sorry, Virginia. I've been sitting alone in this room, listening to those waves. I'm getting edgy.
Donovan knows so much already. But you see, I can't go on hiding behind lies. There's only one thing left to do.
You mean give up?
Yes, Steve. Go in together now, tonight, and put an end to all this running and hiding and lying.
And an end to Phil Gould, too, huh?
I tried to help you for his sake as long as it was possible. It isn't anymore.
All right, Virginia. Can't let you go back alone. We'll do what you want.
You'll see. It has to come out right this way. Donovan isn't against us.
We did the best we could. The important thing now is to stay together. Isn't it?
Yes, that's the most important thing.
You better get started. The car's just down the road.
Might just as well move a bed in here to save rent.
We never run out of reasons to lose sleep.
Brecker homicide. Yeah, he's right here. San Francisco.
Right. Yeah? What? Yeah, that's on the nose. Yeah. Yeah. That quiz we shoved in on Garry started a landslide.
It's starting my indigestion.
Hold on to your seat, Lou. We struck pay dirt. 600. By check. Okay. Will do. Garry didn't make any money on the boat business because there wasn't any business.
Well, what do you know? Gary's a liar.
And that isn't all. He's just become the #1 suspect for the murder of Mrs. Gould. The DA knew she was being blackmailed, but didn't know by whom. Her canceled check showed she'd cashed one for 600 the first of every month.
So our teletype told him where it went. A liar, a blackmailer, and probably a murderer. Those are the same amounts Garry put into his bank.
Well, this knocks the bottom out of the Gould case. Garry was ducking the witness stand to save his own neck. And if Gould got exonerated, Garry could keep on running.
Maybe he got 2 killings for the price of 1.
Well, I hope one of them will make Virginia talk.
Wasn't that the road back to Los Angeles, Steve?
Yes, I guess it was. But I was thinking about Phil. Virginia, we can't throw away everything we've done and turn back now. A man's life is the most important thing he's got.
All right, Steve.
I know it will be safe. There's a friend of mine named Cap Douglas down near San Diego. He sold me the charter boat. He owes me a favor or two. We can make it in a couple of hours. But first, we'll need some gas.
What'll it be, folks?
Go up. Right.
Stay in a car. Can't take any chances.
That'll be $3.93.
Sorry, mister, I can't change the 20. I'll have to go across the road and break it in the diner.
Never mind, I have a credit card.
Look in the bedroom.
Hey, something's leaking. Your girlfriend needs a new roof.
She's gone.
Ed.
Yeah? Used to plug up the bullet hole. This is the other half of her story, Lou. And it's a story I never wanted to hear. Donovan, get me Grant.
Her car's gone.
Grant, get this. A blue Ford 49 convertible. License number California 218 X3382. What's that? Call just came in from an all-night station on Highway 101. Virginia wrote a note to contact me. Car heading south. Right. Got a half-hour start on us.
Maybe you did pick a winner this time.
Hey, Mr. Lou, what's the matter? You afraid of getting a ticket?
There's a law against hedge hopping. You think Garry would be crazy enough to try for the border?
Wouldn't be so crazy if he tried it by water.
It could be. He knows about boats.
Grant's having the local boys put up roadblocks near the harbors. Just in case.
Yeah, that's too bad. That'll spoil some of their poker games.
That's the end of the road for us. We can't go any further by car.
Steve, don't you see it's hopeless?
We can make it to Cap Douglas's from here. Hold on. Come on, honey, let's get going. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. how long you've been waiting for this chance. It's no more than a half mile from here. Let's see how fast you can walk. Cap! Don't try anything, I'm warning you. Cap! Cap, wake up!
What in blazes is... Oh, Garry, where'd you come from?
Tell you all about that later. Right now, what my wife and I want is a boat. Got something for us?
Yeah. Come on in, I'll see what I can do for you.
Come on.
You and the lady kind of caught me unexpected. You should have telephoned, Steve. Rest yourselves there. Now, let's see.
I'll need a power cruiser like the Albatross.
Yeah? It's not what you need, it's what I've got. Why don't you make yourselves comfortable, you and the missus?
Sit down, Virginia.
Now, let's see. There's a fishing party coming in Saturday. You be back by then?
Yep. Can we get started right away?
Yeah, I don't know why not. I'll have to get some gas into her after we get some coffee into ourselves.
Cap, look, forget the coffee, huh?
Oh, all right.
Don't give him the boat. He's running from the police.
Shut up. All right. Take me to the boat.
You won't get far without gas.
Where is the gas?
Why, it's out here, behind the shed.
Let's get it.
You hear that? Let's go.
Police! Get me the police!
Down at the shipyard, that way.
Hi, Sergeant.
Hi. Have they got them yet?
Not yet. They're back in that building somewhere. Can't get near them on account of the girl.
I hope they don't hurt that girl. She's the one who warned Cap Douglas. Otherwise, he'd given Garry the boat.
Using her as a shield right to the end. Come on, let's go.
Better keep under cover. He's already used his gun.
Keep the boys from getting trigger happy. I don't want anything to happen to that girl. You two cover each end of the building. Come on out, Garry. You haven't a chance.
Bring up that spotlight.
Along that wall.
Come on.
in there back of the cables. I'm going to try to separate him. Give me a chance to get around behind him, then throw a couple of wild shots to attract his attention. All right. Get the rest of the board.
I can't go any further. I can't.
Get on your feet. Stop that acting. Jimmy! All right, on your feet. On your feet!
Garry! Here, give me a hand. Take her to the car.
Where's Garry?
Hey, Ed!
Oh, any luck? Well, we managed to separate Garry from the girl. She's safe in the car.
Good. Now we can close in. We've blocked off every escape. Garry hasn't a chance of getting out of the yard.
Come on.
All right, Donovan. Don't move.
There he is, out there on the arm.
Wait a minute. Where's Donovan?
Hey, Donovan! Hey, Donovan! Put down that gun, Steve.
I'm not going to shoot you. They will. They'll think you're me. And don't yell.
Hey, Donovan!
Come on. Give us some cover, Woody. He's trying to cross over the other crane and make a getaway. Some of you get over to the other pier. I was just telling your friend here how far Garry fell off his pedestal. Think you can take care of this prisoner?
I'll try.
Up in. So long, Jim.
On, boys.